Making Money with Memory, Side 1. The Super Memory course has taught you a variety of ways to apply mnemonic techniques in order to memorize numbers, quotes, vocabulary, and more. Now it's time to learn how these techniques can help you make money. Everybody's interested in making money, and to think this can be accomplished by learning a few simple mnemonic techniques is truly exciting. Nearly every CEO or high-level executive will tell you that memory is an essential part of their position. Many executives will even claim that it was their great memories which got them in the positions they are in today. Truth is, being able to remember facts and figures, names and faces, and other essential information is a valuable asset in any job, an asset that will get you noticed. Because of the importance of super memory system, we have designed this course to teach you how you can improve your memory and use it to aid you in your career. You're probably familiar with the saying, time is money, money is time. But do you know exactly what it means? Well, it is likely that your boss is not only familiar with this saying, but he also lives by it. He knows that time is of the essence, and if your working time isn't spent earning money, you are in effect losing money. Therefore, your boss is concerned with how you spend your time. If you're able to spend your time on gathering new information for new projects, rather than using it to look up old information you should already be familiar with, he's going to be pleased with your performance. He will notice that you use your time wisely. When he asks you a question about an account or project you are working on, and you are able to reel off that information without hesitation, you will look good, and he will definitely remember you when it comes time for promotions. After studying this course, you will know how to remember important information about projects, accounts, clients, or facts, and you'll be able to retrieve the information whenever you need to. Your mind will be like a computer that stores and retrieves any information you might need. All it takes is 3 important memory tools. The first tool is outline. The second is word substitution, and the third is linking. You might be familiar with these tools from the Super Memory course. If you need to refresh your memory, go back and review the concepts. If you're in a position where you frequently work with clients, it would be a great asset if you could remember a few facts about them. Not only will this help you serve them better, it will help you improve your business relationships. Any client would be flattered and impressed if you remembered his name, preferences, and personal characteristics. So how do you remember all this information? Simply apply the word substitution and linking tools. You should begin with word substitution. Find a word that sounds like your client's name. Then use that word to link his name to the other information. Create a scene in your mind in which your client is the subject. This should remind you of all you need to know about this particular client. Remember that as long as you form images and picture them clearly in your mind, you will know what they mean and you'll be able to remember the necessary information. Using these techniques will help you make a very good first impression. Once you've used the information a few times and have worked with the client, you will be familiar with his personal information and will no longer need to use the links you formed. You will remember the information automatically. You can apply this same method to any information you might need to remember, whether it is names, dates, facts, or projects. Perhaps you have more detailed information you need to remember, and this method just isn't enough. If so, it is time to use the third tool we discussed, outlining. You should form an outline of the information, then select key words and link them together. Mnemonics are extremely versatile and can be used for a variety of things. They're a very effective method for remembering facts. If the information you need to remember includes terrible details such as numbers, there is an easy technique you can apply to help you in this process. Being involved in business means you're going to be involved with numbers. It comes with the territory. As important as they are, numbers are abstract ideas which make them very difficult to remember. But if you've been through the Super Memory course, you know there's a solution. Certain mnemonic techniques make it possible to remember every kind of number you might encounter. The Super Memory course explains the use of the PEG system, in memorizing numbers. Choose the system you're most comfortable with and stick with it. Each peg system has specific words which represent numbers from 0 to 100. Come up with your own peg words for each number. Then use those words to form images in your mind and link those images to the person or thing they represent. When you need to remember the number, picture this link, and you'll know what the number is. If by chance you need to remember figures which contain letters as well as numbers, then use the alphabet words to form your links. There is a list of these you might want to go over in the supermemory course. Are you the type of person that can always remember a face but can never remember the name that goes with that face? Being able to remember names is definitely a great asset in the business world. People love to hear their names and are flattered and impressed by people who remember them. You'll be amazed at the doors in your career that will be opened when you cultivate this skill. Being able to remember names is extremely important if you're in sales. Customers like to feel that they are important and that you really have an interest in them. The ability to call them by name is a powerful selling tool. If you care about them, they'll care about you, and satisfied customers will come back and request you by name. If people are frequently requesting your help, you will begin to be noticed. Hopefully you are now convinced of the importance of remembering names. Of course, you're probably wondering just how you go about improving your ability to remember names and faces. We will discuss some guidelines from the supermemory course that will help you improve your memory skills and allow you to remember the names of people you meet. The first step is repetition and frequent usage. When you're first introduced to someone, you need to make sure you understand their name. Many times you don't remember a person's name because you didn't really hear it in the first place. Be sure to listen carefully and ask to have it repeated if you didn't understand what they said. Next, repeat the name out loud. Not only will this help you remember the name, but the person you are meeting will take it as a compliment. Everyone loves to hear their name spoken. After repeating the name, ask about it. If it's an original name, inquire about its origin. This isn't a necessary step, but if you are in an informal setting, it will help you remember the name, and it will give you something to talk about. If you've already repeated the name out loud, now repeat the name in your mind. Go over the name several times in your mind to help cement it in your memory. As you are thinking of the name, study the person's face so you can form a link between the name and the face. Another suggestion is to use the name in conversation. If possible, use the person's name 3 times while it is fresh in your mind. We've just discussed 5 possible techniques you can use to increase your ability to remember names. These will make you concentrate and think about the name when you hear it. But these guidelines are not enough. You should combine them with the mnemonic techniques we will discuss in the following sections. Linking a person's name to a prominent feature on the person's face is an important step in memorizing names. Use the first prominent feature you notice on that person, but be careful not to use features which are subject to change, such as glasses, mustaches, or beards. After selecting a particular feature, the next step is to form a link between that feature and the person's name. Be sure to come up with an effective image, which will help you recall the name when you see the face. Of course, some names will be easier to visualize than others. If you happen to meet someone whose name is difficult to visualize, you will need to use word substitution. Substitute a word you can picture which resembles the name. Then link this word to the feature you have chosen. For example, you might use the word cherry for Jerry. Each time you encounter a difficult name, think of a word you can substitute to help you form your link. Turn the tape over now, and you will learn exercises you can do every day to help you remember names. Making Money with Memory, Side 2. After using these techniques, it suddenly becomes easy to remember both faces and names. However, you may find it difficult to begin using these techniques. In order to warm up your imagination, try the following exercise. To begin, find a phone book and a magazine or catalog. Then open the book and point to a name. Next, open the magazine with your eyes closed and point to a face. You now have both a name and a face to work with. Practice linking the name to the face using the method we discussed earlier. Try memorizing 10 names a day, and perhaps as you get better, try 20 or 30 names each day. This exercise will help you practice, but the ultimate test of your name remembering skills is with real people. It is very important to practice memory skills each day, yet sometimes you may go for days without meeting a new person. So in order to practice your skills, you need to get into the habit of making sure you meet at least 2 new people every day. There are several ways to do this. If you ride public transportation to work, sit next to someone and introduce yourself. Then apply the different techniques and notice how easy it is to remember their name. You might introduce yourself while standing in a line, or you could introduce yourself to someone on the street. People may think you're a bit odd, but they will more than likely give you their name and you will get your practice. Memory techniques can be used for more than just remembering facts, data, and names. They are also very helpful in remembering business presentations, sales reports, and speeches without using notes. If you're able to stand before your peers and give a presentation without having to use notes, not only will your audience be impressed, they will also be more interested in what you have to say. People are turned off by speakers who read their speeches. Their attention span is shorter if the speech is continually interrupted by the shuffling of notes. Speaking without notes enables the speaker to keep continual eye contact with the audience, and they will feel that the speaker is aware of them as an individual. Speaking without using notes allows you to speak from knowledge, and you will find that your message is more powerful. In order to speak without using notes, there are 2 mnemonic methods you can use. The first method is known as the LOCI system. You might be familiar with this system from the supermemory course. Begin by making an outline of your speech that covers everything you want to say. After making an outline, go through that outline and pick out key words which will remind you of each main point. Then link the key words to your LOCI. If some of the key words are abstract and difficult to imagine, it might be necessary to use word substitution at this point. As you give your speech or presentation, you won't need to look at notes. Simply go through each item of your LOCI and you'll remember the main points. Another method you can use to remember the points of your speech is the link method. Again, this requires an outline of the main points you want to discuss, but be sure to include any secondary information you need to remember. Next, select key words to remind you of each main point. If by chance your speech includes figures or numbers, convert them into words using one of the PEG systems. Then link the PEG words to the main topics they relate to. After choosing key words and PEG words, link them together. If you're afraid of forgetting the first item in your link, be sure to link the first main point to something you will not forget. As you give your speech, you will only need to go through the links you've formed in your mind in order to remember each main topic of your speech. Using mnemonics to help you speak without notes will make your delivery more natural, and your audience will be more attentive. You'll be able to concentrate on your audience and your presentation rather than concentrating on your notes. These techniques will give you confidence in your presentation abilities, and that confidence will make your speech more forceful. A good memory can give you an advantage during business meetings. Memory is power, and if you have all the facts memorized and are familiar with them, you'll be able to control the meeting. A good memory will enable you to give information immediately to support your arguments. Since many companies are impressed by employees who know what is going on and get involved with the discussion, you can imagine how beneficial this attribute would be. A good memory is also useful for those times when you want to remember important facts discussed in a meeting, but you don't have a pen and paper nearby, or when your client asks that you not take notes because he is uncomfortable discussing business while you are constantly jotting things down on a notepad. If you have an exceptional memory, these things won't be a problem. You can simply sit quietly during the meeting and store all the information in your memory. Using these mnemonic techniques will help you recall everything that was discussed during the meeting and any assignments you might have received. Remembering details about meetings is done much the same way as remembering things you read. As each fact is presented, use word substitution to link the main ideas together. If you need to remember numbers, use one of the peg systems. Your mind operates much faster than the speaker can vocalize his words, and this will give you time to link the key words while keeping your mind concentrated on the topic. After the meeting, be sure to review the links you formed. You will be able to remember everything that was discussed, including details you might have recorded. If you were given specific assignments during the meeting, you can remember them in order by using your peg words. If you have 3 assignments, use the peg words for 1 through 3 and link each word to an assignment. Clients, co-workers, and employers will be extremely impressed by your ability to remember so many details and topics without taking any notes. In a large corporation, this will get you noticed and perhaps promoted. Your memory can also help you make good decisions and solve problems effectively. All executives have to make decisions and solve problems, and they are often judged on how well they deal with these problems and decisions. If you are able to master the art of decision-making, your climb up the corporate ladder will be faster and easier. Decision-making often requires experience. Of course, you may be wondering what experience has to do with using your memory. Well, it's really quite simple. Experience is actually your memory of things in the past. And if you could train your memory to help you remember your experiences and their outcomes, you will be in a better position to judge how the current situation might benefit or suffer, depending on each different course of action. You will be able to decide which course of action is better if you are able to remember all the facts. Here are a few suggestions on using your memory to effectively solve problems and make decisions. First, you need to sit down and define the problem. List all aspects of the problem on a sheet of paper so you can look at them. Next, be sure you know all the facts so you can solve the problem. If you have all the facts in your mind, you will already have all the information you need and won't have to spend time researching the problem. If you do need to research, use mnemonic tools to help you remember all the information you discover. Be sure to keep an open mind when you are considering your options. It is important that you know why the problem was caused and what caused it. After going through all these steps, use the information to determine which course of action you will take. Use your memory to help you make intelligent decisions quickly, instinctively, and successfully. These mnemonic techniques can be applied to almost any situation. Although it would be impossible to cover all the applications, this course has provided you with the concepts necessary to help you apply mnemonics to any situation you might encounter in your career. Hopefully, you now realize that mnemonics really work, and by using the knowledge you have obtained, you can make them work for you. Perhaps there are areas where you need to improve your memory. Set some goals for yourself to improve in these areas. Whether it is names, sales reports, or presentations, use the information this course has provided and begin practicing. As soon as you feel good about your weaker areas, then it's time to start making money with your memory.